Hello everyone and welcome back to AutomaTitan Cracks One Out. Today, thanks to the fact it's nearly Subtitle Guy's birthday, we're going to be diving into his favourite franchise for the first episode in another two-part Cracks One Out. Yes folks, today we're cracking one out with Transformers Devastation. So considering that this is a man who can name most G1 Transformers just from being told their alt mode and their colour, expect some hardcore nerdery in the subtitles. Also, expect complaining, because I know full well that his favourite Transformer isn't in this game, or in fact in any Transformers game, or TV show for that matter. Still, the mind-boggling lack of robot Sherlock Holmes aside, he still likes Transformers Devastation, so balls to it, this is his birthday present. Oh god, why? No one is as sad and boring as you. You did not just diss Funko Pops. Right, that's it. I don't care if it's nearly your birthday. You're getting punished for that. Say hello to my little yellow friend. So, gameplay first, and we can basically sum that up by saying that it's a platinum game. I mean, we've reached the point now where most gamers know exactly what a platinum game entails, and Transformers Devastation is no different. Basically, it's Bayonetta with less tits and bondage. There are some subtle differences of course, quite apart from the lack of whips and chains and Iron Maidens, and the biggest difference is, well, you already know what it is. Subtitle Guy literally just said it. No, you tit. The fact that everyone can turn into something else. That changes the flow of the game in a big way, both in terms of the combat and how you get from fight to fight. Put simply, if you're running between fights, then you're doing it wrong. Well, unless you're playing as Grimlock, obviously, on account of him being a fire-breathing robot space T-Rex. It also means that Platinum could stick in some driving sections as well, cause fuck it, why not, right? Well, I mean it's less a case of going why not, and more the fact that Transformers fans would complain about not being able to turn into cars, and Transformers fans are psychotic fuckwits who lose their shit over the slightest thing not being perfectly right. Here look, I'll prove it, right? Subtitle Guy. Windblade. See? Anyway, yes you can drive about since you're also a car. Unless you're Grimlock, then you run about on your stompy legs and bring great joy to the world. You don't just have the ability to transform while piddling about in the open world, however. They're Cybertronians. Switching modes is part of who they are. So of course you can transform during combat, whether that's just to get some space between you and the seeker that's trying to shove a null ray up your aft, or to use some of the combat moves that are built around your vehicle mode. Yeah, you can transform into car mode, do a burnout, and ram the enemy right in his cockpit without breaking up the flow of combat. It's anime as fuck, which is, let's be honest, exactly what you expect from a Platinum game, and this bad boy does not disappoint. Sure, you could argue that there's not a whole lot to differentiate it from Bayonetta, but nobody complains when FromSoft sticks to the Soulsy formula, so they can feel free to stop complaining about Platinum also having a formula. Because the fact is that it's a formula that works. It worked for Bayonetta, it worked for Metal Gear Rising. No. And it's a formula that works beautifully for Devastation. So the combat is fast and fluid, with mastery of it still requiring you to be good at dodging, and the switching between modes adds a whole new layer to an already satisfying cake. Now, sure, if you're not keen on Platinum games, then it might not do much to convince you to like them. If you are a Platinum fan, however, then you really ought to check it out if you haven't already played it. And if you're an actual Transformers fan, then you're in for a treat. There's a phrase that has been known to get used by older fans of the franchise. Yes, I mean you, Subtitle Guy. When a new toy or comic or whatever gets unveiled and it possesses a certain quality to it that hits them right in the nostalgia button, that phrase is G1 as fuck, and I've personally heard Subtitle Guy say it at least 15 times. When was the last time you said it? Well, the fact of the matter is this. Transformers Devastation is properly G1 as fuck. Sure, some of the designs have been updated, such as Bumblebee and Wheeljack being the classics toys, Sideswipe being a modern Lamborghini, and Megatron being based on his Combiner Wars figure, but the art style is pure G1 cartoon. The sound work in the game is also heavily influenced by the G1 tune as well, even down to the music being done by Vince DiCola, although by some miracle they've managed to make a Transformers game that doesn't have the touch by Stan Bush in it. That love for the heritage of the franchise carries over to the voice cast as well, because on top of the unbeatable iconic pairing of Peter Cullen and Frank Welker as Prime and Megatron, you'll find that Platinum brought the original voice actors back for a lot more than just those two. So we've got Dan Gilderson back as Bumblebee, Michael Bell's back as Sideswipe and Scrapper, Frank Welker pulls double duty as Megatron and Soundwave, just like in the good old days, and the lovely cuddly Greg Berger is back as the tubby funster Longhaul, and more importantly, as the character he will forever be in the heads of Transformers fans, Grimlock. Yes, just yes, Subtitle Guy's favourite Transformer may be Nightbeat, but mine is most definitely Grimlock. You promised me you wouldn't tell anyone that. How about in the universe where I didn't tell everyone you had a wank over Windblade? Anyway, yes, Grimlock. He's in this game, and he's one of the biggest indicators that we're in a G1 cartoon universe here, because, well, frankly, it's because he's thick as pig shit. He is 100% G1 toon comedy thicko Grimlock, instead of the magnificent ruthless bastard from the Marvel G1 comics. Still, at least he actually is Grimlock, which is more than you can say about the spiky mess in the Bayformers movies, or that green monstrosity in the R.I.D. cartoon. So the aesthetic and the music and a good chunk of the voices are G1 as fuck. What's not G1 as fuck is the plot and the lore behind it. You see, with the amount of reboots the franchise has had, there's a whole multiverse of Transformers fiction out there, so much so that there's an actual chart of how the multiverse works, and some fiction to go along with it, because Transformers fans are nothing if not a set of anally retentive smartasses. Basically, different continuities are classed as different multiversal streams, and those multiversal streams are grouped together into clusters based on which continuity family they fall under. Naturally, each individual continuity has a name based on its place in the multiverse, and TF Devastation's universe goes by the catchy title of Primax 1015.06 Kappa. So, basically, it's part of the G1 continuity family, but it's not actually part of G1 itself, and that means it doesn't have to follow the exact continuity set out in the G1 toon or the Marvel G1 comic. Instead, Devastation is basically its own micro-continuity, one that is mostly pure G1, but that has an entirely different origin story for its Insecticons. Also, it has Nova Prime, although he only appears in one flashback and the post-credit stinger. So, to sum up the lore, take the G1 tune and sellotape on some plot elements from the early IDW comics, and you've pretty much got Transformers Devastation. All you need to do then is add in all the little homages that Platinum stuck in there. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a fucking lot. And not all of them are shoutouts to G1 either. It would take sodding hours to go through all of them, so we put a handy dandy link to the TF wiki page for the game in the description. But since it's nearly Subtitle Guy's birthday, and since it would throw a proper moody if I didn't let him wibble on about this, here's a rundown of some of his favourite Transformers references in the game. First up is the generic Seekers you fight, who are based on one of the G1 core heads, specifically Dirge. We'll take it further and say that while the elite Seekers have Dirge's body, they have the same swords and more or less the same paint job as Optimus Primal from Beast Wars. Next up, you've got the ground troops, who are split into the ones that turn into cars and the ones that turn into big fuck-off tanks. And yes, both of them are based on something else. The big tank dudes are based on Blitzwing. I know you're salty about the Bumblebee movie, but can we do it properly, please? Thank you. As for the car formers, those are 100% based on the G1 battle charges, although Subtitle Guy assures me that if you trust the battle charges to do anything besides spray painting massive dicks on walls, you're gonna have a bad day. In addition to the homages in the generic troops, every single weapon in the game is a shoutout. Seriously, every single weapon. From Megatron's fusion cannon to Prime's ion blaster, from Bulkhead's wrecking ball to the Forge of Solus Prime and the Star Saber, from Masterpiece Bumblebee's Diddy Blaster to Masterpiece G2 Sideswipe swords. They're all based on existing weapons, so someone is going to have a nostalgia-gasm over all of them. The point we're heading towards is this: the reason Platinum made such a good Transformers game is because they are clearly massive Transformers fans themselves. There are references in there that casual fans probably won't spot, but the anally retentive smartasses will. Case in point, Subtitle Guy spotted them. We're going to close out this section with perhaps the best example of this, because it's a ludicrously specific reference. You see, during the boss battle with Shockwave, he's got this special power where he can create duplicates of himself, something that he's never been able to do before. Except he has. Well, sort of, after a fashion anyway, since that was a power he had in the story bible for the original G1 cartoon, but that never made it into the show itself. That reference runs deeper than that though, because the clones he makes are grey, and any Transformers fan worth their salt knows exactly what a grey Shockwave is supposed to be. You see, it's well known that the original Transformers toys weren't actually created by Hasbro. Instead, Hasbro went over to Japan and imported a few of their transforming toy lines into the West, putting them all under one umbrella to form the Transformers franchise. Most of them came from two Takara toy lines, but a few came from other sources, and one of those was Shockwave, who was originally made by the Korean company Toyco as a figure called Astro Magnum. And the thing is that Hasbro wasn't the only company that Toyco licensed that design to. It also got licensed to Radio Shack, who sold their own version of that figure, known by the fans as Shockwave. And both the original Astro Magnum toy and the Shockwave version were grey. Kudos Platinum, you are nerdy as fuck. And kudos to you, Subtitle Guy. I let you write this rundown and your head firmly disappeared up your ass. Moving on, because it's rating time. At the end of the prototype video, we had a rant about how Activision are a complete set of shithouses who fucked over Prototype on PC. And I hate to have to say this, but we're going to do the exact same thing here, but with a side order of shouting at Hasbro and a dash of telling every lawyer ever to fuck off. You see, Transformers Devastation is a brilliant little game. It's not the best Transformers game, because it exists in a universe where Fall of Cybertron also exists, but it's a gorgeous nostalgic romp that any Transformers fan would have a blast playing. And therein lies the problem. Because you cannot get the game anymore. Yeah, you heard that right. Devastation has been delisted from Steam, as well as from the PSN and the Xbox Store, so unless you can track down a physical copy that hasn't been registered, you are shit out of luck. There is now no legal way to get a digital copy of the game. Why? Because the contract between Hasbro and Activision expired, so fuck everyone who might want to play it, as long as the legal teams get to line their pockets, eh? Seriously, do these people actually want games to be pirated or what? Meanwhile, the future of Transformers games seems to be in the form of shitty grindy pay-to-win mobile games. That's just depressing. So despite it being a brilliant game, we have to take that legalistic fuckery into account, and thus, our rating is... And on that heartbreaking display of Subtitle Guy's favourite franchise getting royally fucked over, it's time to end. Or rather, it would be, if we weren't doing another two-part Cracks One Out. You see, we've had a G1 cartoon Grimlock this episode, but there is another, vastly superior version of Grimlock out there. So next time, we're going to be going from this to the... No! Don't fucking do that to me.